And I went out to Australia to work in a school, and at the time I was doing quite a lot of athletics training. I was working at a school and we used to get fed with the boarding department, but I always missed it because my training was at the same time as dinner time. So whenever I was finished, I used to go down to one of the local chicken shops just down the road, and in there I could pick up rotisserie chicken, salads, stir fries, nip down, pick something up and go home and eat it. And then I went to university in Nottingham. I was doing the same type of athletics training, but whenever I was finished there was Indian, fish and chips, Chinese, pizza, all this type of food, which would completely spoil the point of the training that I was doing. So I started thinking, oh, I wish somebody would set up the Australian idea over here, it'd be brilliant, I'd love it. And I was chatting to a few of my friends about it, we're like, yeah, we should do that, it'd be great, shouldn't we do that? We weren't really very serious about it. So I went along to the University of Nottingham's Institute of Enterprise and Innovation, where they were having an open evening. And I got speaking to a few people who worked there and a few students who'd already set up sort of micro businesses within Nottingham. And they were all pretty much like me, nobody had any really special skills or extraordinary talents. They just had an idea and they wanted to work at it. So I thought, well, that's pretty good. So I joined a program over there, which sort of basically was an introduction to business and what it involved, and sort of introduced you to marketing and finance and all that type of stuff. So I got quite involved with that program. And then when I came back to Northern Ireland, I was in, I think it was the International Airport, and I saw a huge go for it Northern Ireland sign. I got in touch with somebody in Fermanagh Enterprise and got a mentor there and did the Start a Business program in Enniskillen. So I actually went back to Australia, much to my father and mother's horror, because they thought I'd never come back. But went back to Sydney and I worked in the type of business that I got the idea from in the first place. And I learned sort of from the ground up in there, worked behind the counter, worked in the kitchen, spoke to the owner on a regular basis about how he started and the difficulties that he faced, and really got a good idea of what it would be like to run this thing day to day. Came back again, moved up to Belfast and got in touch this time with Rollo Business Park. I was actually transferred there from the people in Fermanagh, and spoke to Arlene and various other people, and they looked at my business plan and gave me some advice. I knew this was something that I was really, really keen to do. I really wanted to see this concept of healthy fast food in Northern Ireland, and particularly in Belfast, because I could see it working. And suddenly everything that was in the plan had to become a reality. And I got some helpful phone calls actually from various people, from Arlene and various other people on Enterprise, just to see how things were coming along. So that was really helpful too. And I'd say that anybody working with young people setting up a business, that is one stage where you really do need a lot of, not just really financial support, but moral support when you're just setting up, because it's very, very scary and you're making phone calls. Suddenly the electrician tells you there's a problem with some wiring, and what does he want you to do, or what do you want him to do about it? And you go, I don't know anything about electrical stuff. And you're not expected to, but you're just faced with all these problems you know nothing about. And that's a phase where you really do need a lot of help and support. And then of course we opened up just on time, but we opened just before Christmas last year, because that's the way our lease worked, and it was really the only option. Well, we could have stayed closed till January, but we thought, well, there's days there's going to be people on the streets, why not get open? So we opened up and people came in, and we still were really shocked, didn't really know what to do. And in fact, the night before I went to open up, the chef who we were meant to get, couldn't get hold of him the whole day before. He was meant to be in, he wasn't in. Phoned him all day, went around to his house, no answer, tried some of his friends, none of them knew where he was, and eventually got a text at 10 to midnight, I can't work for you, sorry. I thought, what? And everything was literally ready to go. Balloons for outside, the staff were all ready. And so I ended up stepping into the kitchen again with a sort of an assistant chef that we'd had lined up, and we just had to struggle through and do the opening. And then eventually within a couple of weeks we got a chef who's still with us. But there are so many problems at the start, and then in January, February we were very quiet and started to despair a bit, and again you rely on the support of everybody around you to keep you going. So we did a few marketing things, we did flyer drops, Started a 4.90 lunch deal, various discount things. So things gradually got better and better, and we got busier and busier. And we still at the moment, we have problems obviously with the downturn, and there's fewer people shopping. So we do find occasionally there's less people in day to day. But to combat that, we started doing deals with various sports groups, with the circuits class, with Ulster Rugby, with a few football teams. So I think it's really important just whenever things do go down a bit that you work harder and you explore other options and other ways of making business when things are harder. But generally it's been a really good road, and I'm really glad that I did explore enterprise rather than going into a graduate job, which would have been the usual course after university. It's a much more exciting life, and it's really enjoyable essentially being in control of your own destiny and being able to, how your business, what happens with your business and if it succeeds is really determined by what you do, and working hard and really being entrepreneurial. So that's what I enjoy about it. Thank you very much.